Are you ready to unlock growth, build resilience, and confidently take the next step in leadership, career, and faith? Welcome to The Next Move. I'm Orvin Kimbrough, a CEO, author, and leader with a passion for helping people and organizations thrive. My journey from foster care to CEO has fueled my mission to help professionals scale their confidence, leadership, and influence through mindset shifts, expanded networks, and bold action. Each week, I'll share reflections ripped straight from my blog to inspire and empower you with actionable insights. Let's get started and make your next move your best move. Welcome back to The Next Move, the podcast where we explore faith, leadership, and personal growth to help you take your next step with purpose and confidence. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm glad you're here. This is a space where we get real about life, challenge our thinking, and embrace growth. My goal isn't just to inspire you, but to push you, because transformation doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the hard, the uncomfortable moments when you choose to keep moving forward. So let me ask you this. What if failure wasn't your enemy, but your greatest teacher? Some weeks ago, I posted an image that read, "If you never know failure, you will never know success." It was a Sunday reflection titled, "Prove Them Wrong." Someone on my blog asked me, "Are you glorifying failure?" And my answer, absolutely not. Another person jumped in and said, "He's talking about mindset." And they got it. See, I don't glorify failure. I glorify the God who redeems it, because failure is inevitable. It's a part of life. It's part of being human. But failure does not define us. If anything, it refines us if we allow it. The Bible makes it clear, failure is not the end of our story. It's a tool for growth, transformation, and a deeper reliance on God. The key isn't whether you fail, it's how you respond when you do. Because failure is a statistical probability. And let's be real, failure is not just a personal struggle, it's a statistical probability because we are human. You know, most banks won't finance startups because 90% of them fail, with 10% not even making it through the first year, and 70% shutting down within the first 5 years. Years ago, I was on CNBC and I reminded them of a report that the Bureau of Labor Statistics released, indicating that 20% of small businesses fail in the first year and nearly 65% don't make it past 10 years. Even in my own leadership roles, I've seen it firsthand. Most projects don't deliver the outcomes promised. I remember attending my first and probably only national bank conference. I was a fish out of water. I was sitting in a mergers and acquisitions roundtable, feeling all of my insecurities rise up. But I raised my hand and asked, what percentage of bank mergers or acquisitions actually achieve the results they sell to the board and shareholders? You already know the answer. A high percentage fail. Failure isn't just some abstract concept for me. It's personal. When I was younger, I feared math, not because I wasn't capable, but because I wasn't taught well, and because trauma made this subject unbearable. My hand was smacked until it blistered when I got problems wrong. And I know many of you have your own version of that story. An old wound, a moment of shame, an experience that still lingers in the background of your mind, shaping how you see yourself today. As a foster kid, I knew deep in my bones that my odds for success were slim. not because of my choices, but because of the environment I was born into. Fewer than 3% of foster kids earn a college degree. Many age out of the foster care system into instability. They age out into homelessness, and they age out into incarceration. The statistics weren't in my favor. And here's the kicker. So many people carry this same fear of failure into adulthood. Did you know that 2% to 5% of the U.S. population suffers from this acchiophobia? I can't pronounce it, folks. But it's an extreme and irrational fear of failure. Research shows that students with a high fear of failure struggle with academic buoyancy, the ability to bounce back from setbacks. And guess what? Those same students enter our workplaces unoptimized, never realizing that failure and success are two sides of the same coin. According to Business Insider, over 70% of people hesitate. They hesitate to start a side hustle because of fear of failure. But here's the truth. I don't know a single person who hasn't grappled with failure, which means if you have known failure, guess what? You can also know success. The mindset, folks, the mindset shift changes everything. See, if you choose to wallow in failure, if you decide that life is happening to you and you have no control, success will always feel out of reach. But the moment you recognize that failure is just a temporary setback, a setup for your next move, your next opportunity, your next breakthrough, guess what? You win. The Bible says, count it all joy. Joy in failure, yes, because the setbacks, the struggle, the voices telling you you're not enough is just a season, not the story. The greatest failure in history, the fall of man, set everything in motion, but Jesus flipped the script. Because of him, failure is not a lifetime sentence. It's a lesson, a detour, a setup for redemption. James 1 verse 2 through 4 says, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Psalms 119:71 declares, it is good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn your statutes. I've made mistakes. I've had setbacks. I've made unwise decisions, but through everything, through every single failure, I've learned, I've grown, and I've drawn closer to God's wisdom. So, to the person asking the question, no, I do not glorify failure. I glorify the God who redeems it, the God who takes what was meant for harm and turns it for good, the God who proves that failure is not our identity. It's just a part of the journey. So now, let me ask you, what failure have you let define you? What setback have you convinced yourself is final? Guess what? It's not. Today, my friends, I challenge you. Get back up. Keep moving forward. Step boldly into what God has for you. What's your next move? If this message spoke to you today, please share it. Send it to a friend who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation. Let's keep growing together. Until next time, stay strong, stay bold, and keep moving forward. Thank you for tuning in to The Next Move. I hope today's reflection inspired you to take the next step in your leadership, career, or faith journey. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need a little encouragement this week. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like more reflections or resources, visit orvinkimbrough.com or theaccidentalbanker.com. Until next time, remember, every step you take brings you closer to thriving. Let's keep moving forward together.